Hello YouTube, this is the Stabby Brit. I thought I'd make a video discussing the state of affairs concerning Warhammer and why it is both a great and a terrible time to be a Warhammer fan. Now, me being me, I'm going to obviously start with the negative. Why is it's a terrible time to be a Warhammer fan. For people interested in the tabletop, it really is. 40k is, as far as I'm concerned, dead for all intents and purposes, and Warhammer Fantasy is quite literally dead. Games Workshop have destroyed it. Now, I don't want to come across as one of these people who say, automatically, oh, well, the old editions are always best, because, well, they weren't. I can remember some of the bollocks of editions past. But I've been told by a fellow gamer that in their eyes 3rd edition 40k and 6th edition fantasy were the best editions that were ever made, and that is because in the big black book of 3rd edition 40k you had get you by army lists right in the book. So if you had that book and models, you could play 40k. And likewise, when 6th edition fantasy came out, they brought out Ravening Hordes, which had get you by army lists for every faction, even Chaos Dwarfs. That was the last time Chaos Dwarfs got an army list. So again, as long as you had the core rulebook, your armies, and a copy of Ravening Hordes, you could play. Now, these army lists are obviously not very exciting, but they worked. You could have good games with them. So I don't know. This is already going off on a tangent I didn't really want to go into too far, but basically I find myself thinking that for 40k, like, the 3rd edition rulebook was probably the highlight of the 40k rulebooks, just because of the overall content, but in terms of quality, I'd go with 5th. I think 5th edition rules played with 3rd edition army lists. Whoops, sorry, I'm messing up my headset. Yeah, 5th edition rules with 3rd edition army lists would be the way forward in my mind. And for fantasy players, I don't know. Overall, I think 6th edition I enjoyed the most. I started playing in 5th. I started playing 40k in 3rd. Sorry, I'm just enjoying the takedown. Yeah. Anyway. So, the state of affairs on the tabletop are terrible, I think. Tabletop 40k is, for all intents and purposes, over, and tabletop fantasy is definitely over. However, as this video proves, we do have other possible outlets. We have a wide array now of 40k and fantasy inspired games on PC and console. We've had it for a while, to be honest. There's been some really good ones. I think Dark Omen is an often forgotten treasure, which more people really should play. But in the past year or so, we've had some really promising titles coming out. And so for people like me who want that... Ooh, update. Who want the thrill of playing some old Games Workshop games without having to find the one person in the country who still fucking plays them, we have options now. Blood Bowl, obviously. Now, I picked up Blood Bowl Legendary Edition and Chaos Edition a long time back, and there's Blood Bowl 2 now, which I play on consoles. So I've got plenty of games to play Blood Bowl on, and I really enjoy it. It's very, very true to the tabletop experience. It's a little bit difficult to find true experiences of other games, but you can still find good approximations. For example, Mordheim City of the Damned, which I picked up not too long ago. It's not really true to the tabletop, but I think that's forgivable because of the quality experience it creates. It's really fun to play, bloody difficult. I mean, it's not a game you should play if you don't enjoy having your arse handed to you. But if you do enjoy having your arse handed to you, I mean, up and above the bollocks that Blood Bowl pulls, Mordheim is definitely worth a look. and it's been on sale recently. I've also seen, what's it called? Verminkind on sale as well. That's the Left 4 Dead style affair. I'm personally not a huge fan of that. It's just not the kind of game I'm generally interested in. But it looks really good. It looks high quality. I mean, I've sat through like 40-minute videos of people playing it, so while I wouldn't play it myself, at least not on PC, I'd probably pick it up if it came on console. And yeah, it's... I thought, when I first saw the screenshots of it, I thought, oh, right, this is some kind of Mordheim themed game, because it had that feel to it. But yeah, that is another good example of a quality Warhammer title out there. And not at the time of recording, Battlefleet Gothic Armada is in its beta for people who've pre-ordered. Unfortunately, my PC won't run the game, but I've seen videos of gameplay, and that again looks to be a really solid and sort of faithful interpretation of the board game. Not as faithful as I would like. You know, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they should have just copied... They should have done a Blood Bowl and just copied the damn turn-based tabletop board game. But that's just me. And of course, there's still plenty of stuff in the back catalogue. I mean, Dawn of War. Dawn of War was bloody amazing. Played the original Winter Assault and Dark Crusade. Played the hell out of them. Loved those games. Never got around to playing Dawn of War 2. Kind of regret that, because I love the freebooter pirate faction. Would love to play as them. But you know, they're still around, and I've seen them on sale for like 75 quid. And of course, for the really big fans of terrible old school games, there's Final Liberation and Chaos Gate, which were the first 40k themed computer games I ever played. And they are still fun if you can actually find a copy that works. They have the classic problem of being really, really difficult, far too difficult for their own good. But you know, some people like this sort of thing. Apparently, I like that sort of thing because I play the shit out of Mordheim. So overall, as much as I mourn the death of the Games Workshop that I knew in my youth, and realise it's simply not coming back, and we are never going to have a decent tabletop 40k or fantasy game again, short of perhaps jumping ship to Kings of War. I'm glad that the IP is surviving, and I'm glad it's surviving in the hands of fans, not in the hands of fucking Games Workshop, who do not give a shit anymore. I don't think they've given a shit for a long time. I really look forward to see what comes out in the future as well, because the games we've got are really good and interesting and have a lot of potential, and there's stuff on the horizon. There's a new Space Hulk coming out. I don't know much about that, but the last Space Hulk game I played was absolutely fantastic, and that wasn't an entirely faithful what's the word? Port? That'll do. Getting distracted by the fact I'm having my arse handed to me. Overall, I think that the future of Games Workshop games lies in PC and console gaming. That's just me, I think. The IP has too much potential to let it go to waste, and oh, I suppose I've not mentioned Warhammer Total War, have I? You know, that's probably because I'm really pissed off at Creative Assembly for cutting the Chaos faction out so they can sell it back to us at a premium. I am really, really disappointed in that. So I'm not giving that game the time of day. As far as I'm concerned, that game can fuck off and die. But I suppose that's it. That's just my rant about Warhammer-related nonsense. Thank you for listening, those who did. I've really not made myself look very good in this in this video. I'm gonna have to go back and I might have to redo this using the footage of the part where I actually start kicking ass and destroying the Wood Elves. Anyway, until next time, end on a high note.